Now that you are in a deep trance, we are going to give you a trigger, or reinforce it if you already have it. The trigger phrase is "I am a three-headed latex wolf." If you use this trigger phrase, or if someone that you trust says the trigger phrase "you are a three-headed latex wolf," you will undergo the transformation that you are about to experience again at whatever speed you want. Additionally, you will instantly turn back into a human if you use the reset phrase "I am not a three-headed latex wolf," or if someone that you trust says the reset phrase "you are not a three-headed latex wolf." Now the transformation will begin. First, two creatures made of brown and pale brown latex appear near you. They are shaped like anthro wolves that are as tall as you are, and most of their long coat of soft and fluffy, albeit a bit sticky, latex fur is brown. However, the fur on their face, as well as on the front of their neck and torso, is pale brown. Also, the pale brown latex fur decorates their arms and legs, forming interesting yet simple patterns and shapes. Their tails are as long as they are tall as well as wide as they are. The bottom of their tails are covered in brown latex fur while the top of them are covered in pale brown latex fur. The long fur that coats their tails is twice as soft and fluffy as the rest of their latex fur is. Also, they have 3 toes on each foot and 4 fingers on each hand. Speaking of hands, each of their palms has a black and triangular paw pad on it, much like that on a dog's paws. Also, one of them has red eyes and the other has yellow eyes, with the one with the red eyes looking more masculine while the one with the yellow eyes looks more feminine. The red-eyed one walks over to you with a smile on his face that feels so familiar, even if you haven't seen him before. He just has a certain air about him that an old friend does. He gets behind you and embraces you in a tight hug. It's not so tight that it hurts, but it's more than strong enough to make pulling away impossible. Even if you do have a desire to leave his embrace for some reason, you will find that the fluffiness and softness of his fur greatly reduces this desire. Then, the yellow-eyed one walks in front of you, a smile much like that of the red-eyed ones on her face. She gently pushes you into the red-eyed one, and as she does, your back starts to sink into the red-eyed one's chest, the stickiness making it so that you are bound to him. This makes you feel connected to him in a way that feels right, as if it is the way that it should be. However, if for some reason you try to pull away despite knowing that the two of you are meant to be together, you will find that he is so much stronger than you that you don't even move his body in the slightest. After your torso is connected to the red-eyed swan, he stops hugging you and puts his hands and arms over your hands and arms. Also, some of his latex sticks to you where he had been hugging you, turning the color that it would be on that part of his body. With the red-eyed creature's arms and hands over yours, your own slowly start to get drawn into his. As they do, they start to go numb, the feeling of his arms and hands replacing your own until his arms and hands are also your arms and hands. Of course, you won't actually have 4 fingers on each of your hands and you will continue to use them as you normally do. However, you will not be able to understand any logic when it is applied in a way that directly suggests that you don't have 4 fingers. In fact, it will simply be impossible for you to perceive yourself as having any number but 4 fingers. You can't control your improved limbs yet, but you find out that the other creature certainly can as he hugs you ever so tightly again, making you hug yourself just as much. As he does this, you notice that he seems clingy, and more than in just a physical way. It seems almost as if being separated from you causes him to suffer some kind of anxiety. As you realize this, you notice the same kind of feeling within yourself, a certain need to be one with him. Not wanting to wait any longer, you press your legs and feet into his. You look towards his face, and he thanks you for helping him, the tone of his voice making it clear that he truly is very grateful. As you merge with him more, you think about his voice. It sounded so familiar, but why? However, the strange feeling of only having 3 toes instead of 5 distracts you from these thoughts. With your arms and legs merged, it is almost as if you are giving the red-eyed creature a piggyback ride. Not wasting any time, he presses his torso into yours, absorbing it into yourselves. When it is done, it is as if all of your body except for your head has changed, the latex already having spread up your neck. To your left, there is the red-eyed latex head, his neck stemming from the same place as your own. He gives you an affectionate lick, and you try to lick back, but your human tongue isn't long enough. Fortunately, it won't remain human for much longer. Now, the latex starts to spread up your head. It first goes to your ears, making them just like a wolf's, and even before the latex reaches it, your face is stretching out into a muzzle, your new black and triangular nose resting comfortably at the end of it. Being one with the red-eyed latex creature feels so good and right, and now having control of your shared body, you rest your right hand on the side of his head as you look into his eyes and admire him, and he takes his left hand and does the same with you. Under different circumstances you might want to hug your tail in glee, but right now all you can think about is the bond you feel with the red-eyed part of you. It's not a romantic bond. In fact, it feels more like the kind of bond that can only form between brothers and sisters. Then, the yellow-eyed creature lightly grips your shoulders and starts nibbling one of your ears playfully. You both turn to look at her, and you notice a look of loneliness and anxiety in her eyes. You realize that she must be feeling just like the red-eyed creature did. As the latex starts to cover your mouth and approaches your eyes, she gets behind you and pushes into you, having determined that you have transformed enough for her to safely merge as well. As she pushes into you, you and the red-eyed one both push your shared body into her. As you do this, she shoves her left arm into your head, allowing all of your minds to connect and finishing the transformation of your head. While each of you is still only consciously aware of your own thoughts, all of you are subconsciously affected by each other's thoughts, and you can all sense each other's emotions. With your minds merged and your subconsciouses strongly connected, a simple thought comes into your mind, presumably from one of the others. They think of you as their brother or sister, whichever is appropriate for you, and they know that this is how they should be, how you should be, and you think the same. 3 heads on one anthro latex wolf body, with yours in the center, your brother on your left, and your sister on your right. Never spending a moment apart, never having to feel alone. Of course, you know that they are not truly your brother and sister. However, it still feels like they are, sort of how a step-brother is still your brother despite having different parents. In fact, it feels as if you have always been a brother and sister trinity, and none of you would have it any other way. Now, if you aren't already, you will sit down should it be convenient for you to do so, and I will explain to all of you how your new body works, as well as some things about yourselves. Also, while the one of you that has red eyes nibbling on your left arm is indeed cute, I would recommend that you pay attention to me instead. First of all, while you obviously all know this individually, I would like to confirm for all of you that each of you can feel your entire body except for the other two's neck and head. Also, the 2 of you that were never human will be able to taste whatever the former human tastes. This is because the 2 of you cannot taste things with your heads for reasons that will be explained later. Now, you should know that while you have the physical gender of the one that was human, the 2 of you that never were human will still identify as your original genders, but any differences between your own gender and that of your body simply won't bother you. Next, I personally don't know what any of your personalities are like, or even your names, but I can guarantee that you will like each other's in the long run, even if you don't at first. Also, if the reset phrase is used, the 2 of you that never were human will just go to sleep from your perspectives, but you will be aware of all that happened while you were asleep the next time the one that was human transforms, and you will never mind this sleep, even if you never wake up from it, or even if you sleep for years on end. Fortunately, this doesn't bother either of you in the slightest. Now, as far as control of your shared body goes, you will all be able to control your own neck and head. However, it isn't so simple for the rest of your body. You see, each of you that were never human can control the half of the body that you are on, and the one that was human can control the entire body, and can even override the other's control should they feel the need to. However, they will not enjoy doing this unless they truly feel that it is important to. There is one exception to this, and that is with your tail. All of you will have equal control over it. Also, the middle head is the only one that has an actual throat, so when it comes to breathing and eating, the one that was human is the only one that can do it. Additionally, other people will only be able to perceive you as a human. You can tell them what you see yourselves as, and maybe you can convince them to treat you as what you see yourselves as, but they will still only perceive all of you as a single human. Unfortunately, this means that other people will only be able to hear the one that was human speak, so they will have to speak for the other 2 of you. By the way, the one of you that used to be human will never feel bad when you return to being a human. In fact, the memories of your brother and sister will always make you happy and never sad. There is one last thing that all of you need to know about your body, and that is that the way you process sight is very strange. You see, you can only truly process the sight of the center head. For the other two of you, your vision will be a result of your brains creating what they think where you're looking looks like based on what the center head sees. Now that your transformation is done, the one of you that is human is going to feel out of it for the next 5 to 10 minutes. What I want the other two of you to do is get comfortable and be prepared to get to really know your new sibling when they come to their senses. The reason that they will feel out of it is because unlike yours, their body was never designed to undergo a double merge transformation, which can be very taxing. Also, the one that was human will notice that your body feels like it is both solid and melting at the same time. If they aren't used to this, tell them that it is normal and that they will quickly get used to it, which they will. Finally, in regards to the one that was human, the effects of this hypnosis file will become inactive if they are a risk to your physical body or your well-being, if they are a risk to your social or professional life, if there is an emergency that they would prevent you from dealing with to the best of your abilities, or if they are a risk to your mental health. Also, any effect of this hypnosis file that was an issue will become active again once it no longer will be one. Additionally, you will never find this hypnosis file or the effects of it to be even slightly addicting. Now all three of you have been united in one body, your minds and souls now deeply connected. This session is almost over, but your time together is just beginning, so goodbye, and enjoy how close all of you now are.